Also, if the user quits, if they press -1, there one more example output.
I just checked it. And I run it. Say the end. But I don't know if it doubles interact.
Sam, my program is not long for no reason.
Oh yeah, you can't say else. No. When you use else, you don't use any condition, because else is everything else.
Also have to use elif?
You could use else because a number is either even or odd. So if it's not even, everything else is odd. So you could use else if you want, or you could use.
So I just have to take out the number and put else. Everything is 0, but everything is odd.
Yeah. But your program won't tell me if there were 3 even numbers or 2 or 2 odd numbers. So just print out all the on the program you'll see what will happen. Did you run your program?
No.
So why you gave me a laptop? Okay, yeah, watching it, but why you gave me a laptop? You finished?
No.
So why you gave me a laptop? You're not finished. Didn't run the program. So what was I supposed to do? Continue working? Okay, class, so what's the first thing you want to do for number 1?
Print out
Enter 5 numbers, right? Okay, what's the next thing you want to do?
Order equals 0.
Ask for input for the 5 numbers and store them.
Okay, so and we're storing them in 5 different variables, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what do you want to do after that? If
the number modulus 2 equals to 0 with even.
Yeah. Okay. But we have to do that for each number, right?
Yeah.
But now, do we want to print out even, or do we want to don't you want to store the number of even numbers into a variable so that we could print it out later?
Yeah.
Your program okay? Your program okay?
Oh, I went there. Enter, root for it for me to enter that.
Oh, well, yeah, well, it did work.
He did root for the last one.
So after the modulus 2 equals 0, what do we do?
We need at some point in your code we need a counter. We need a counter for even and we need a counter for odd, because we want to add. Yes, we want to add 1 to our counter every time we get an even number, and add 1 to our counter every time we get an odd number.
Oh, with what we just did.
Yeah.
So the computer good is made up. I have 15 good and I let it 9 something.
I'm in the plus 1. Just plus 1.
So you could say something like odd equals odd plus 1.
Yeah, that's like when odd equals 0.
Or you could have something like even equals even plus 1.
I would even an odd equals 0.
Yeah, you have to start off at 0.
Yeah, I would go for 0.
So both of you make them equal to 0 at the beginning, and then if the number is divisible by 2, then you add 1 to your even.
Yeah.
If the number is divisible, if it's not divisible by 2, then you add 1 to odd. And then at the end, you print out there your variable for even numbers.
What's that range mean?
Huh?
What's range?
That's what it's on.
You learn that by yourself?
No, I learned through YouTube and Julian.
Until you don't do
Mostly
it.
Julian. Mostly Julian.
Until you don't do it.
Only Julian.
You can use.
I really hear it. I don't know.
Only one range.
I want that one. You know, what do you
But you don't get only
Yeah,
okay. That's one range. Yes.
no, yeah,
Because to say that number, they have to do it 5 times. So over 5
So we
numbers
did
and
five
then
numbers.
Are we to five hundred, right? So then are you writing so it can be a module equal 0 even
errors.
like I know the thing is just want to put it into the code.
Or
So everybody, does our first couple lines of code look something like this?
yes. But I have the
So for
even and
so
odd
for that's
equals
okay,
0
so it's supposed to be
before
raw.
the number.
Okay, that doesn't matter.
That's supposed to be raw, right?
Yeah,
So how even and odd
Well,
is 0?
I think if you're using the int input, it might be fine for you to not use your input, but use your input.
I get it right.
Yeah,
Input or not. So how
Well, mine is-
you have your
So
line.
how,
So I just have input here.
Okay, that's fine.
how even equals 0 and odd equals 0?
Because we're using that as
Because
counters.
we
So
adding them together.
we add in one to our even numbers or odd numbers each time we calculate if this is a even or odd number. So if num1 is an even number, then we're going to add 1 to even. If num2 is an even number also, we're going to add 1 again to even. If num3 is also an even number, then we're going to add 1 to even again. So at the end, when we want to print out our statement, there are dash even numbers, we're able to put in that variable of even, and it will tell us there are 3 even numbers.
I understand that.
Same thing for odd.
And
So if there are 5 even numbers, our variable for even will end up being 5, and our variable for odd will stay at 0. And the program will tell us there are 5 even numbers and 0.
So how we put in the print for there are?
So if
You should tell me.
We have to add them all together.
You could add them all together, you could use commas to separate. So you'd have there are in quotations, comma or add your variable for even, comma or add another string, and so on and so forth.
I put in the variable for even. Because we have the even plus 1 to show to count each one.
Yeah,
So how we put in the total amount?
you put in that same variable. What's your variable for even? Even? The word even?
Yeah.
Then you type in the word even.
Also uniform.
Yeah. Well,
You have to put it in quotation marks. Commas, just the commas are taken. Or when you put it the variable in the
yeah,
put it in quotation marks or
the variable is not supposed to be in quotation marks. The variable.
to put a comma after it.
Yeah. After the string, you put a comma. You write out your variable. You put a comma. Then you write out the rest of your string. Put a comma. Put a variable. Okay,
I was
so
confused about.
the rest of our code could look something like this. So if num1 modulus 2 is equal to 0, then I'm adding 1 to my even. So I use shorthand. So everybody take a look at the board. I use shorthand for adding 1 to our increments. I said even plus equals 1. This is the same thing as even equals even plus 1. Just shorter. Everybody okay with that?
yeah.
So you could use either or, but I prefer to just use this because it's shorter. So going on. So I said if num1 modulus 2 is equal to 0, then I'm going to add 1 to my even numbers. Else, I'm going to add 1 to odd numbers, to odd. Then I'm going to check this for each of my numbers. I check this for num2, check this for num3, check for num4, check for num5. And then at the end, I'm going to point out there were, and then I'm going to put in my variable of even. And then I'm going to say there were my variable even numbers, and my variable odd numbers. And remember, this variable is a number. So if there were 5 even numbers, it would say 5, and that means there would be 0 odd numbers, and so on and so forth. So I hope we're able to finish and then go on to number 2. Are you done with number 2?
Yeah, working on it. I typed in the last day after.
Okay.
I don't know.
Normally I'd have given you more time to try it on your own, but time is of the essence. Julian does type like a real coder.
Keep writing like that too. Orange. Say that again.
You finish? You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's the last number?
So,
12. Plus minus 1. Okay. And then, first minus 1 on the second try, and then first minus 1 on the third try. So yeah, second try. Then try another third try.
What?
so now,
Yes, sir. Now that you've got the book.
yeah, that's what I do. On the same place as you. The same thing. Yeah.
Move on to number 3. Okay, write a program which asks a user to enter 5, then afterwards prints out whether or not one of what's a 5 or not. Yeah, that one easy. Okay, let me see your.
I was missing some. Oh, I didn't put out the rest of the
Oh, yeah, the numbers. You went now realize all of this is the same variable. You have number. We need different variables. So either number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 1, number 2.
You know, if anything else.
Why do you have the
Not really. You identify even odd.
Go back to your book. The first we don't need the range because we're really asking. 2, we have just inputs. It's supposed to be inputs for each of our inputs. We want the integer and the string. And then we go from there. How is everyone doing?
When I put the number, there's not supposed to have a space.
No. Remember, variables don't have spaces. You on your phone doing Python or you researching Python?
I get it, but
So explain to me where I can remember. Because if they
A is supposed to be int input. All of them is supposed to be int, open brackets, input, and close brackets. Because you remember we want an integer.
were there,
Yeah, all of your inputs. Yeah, and then at the end you have to use your print statement. But other than that, everything looks fine. Just have to end with your print statement. Yes. Don't forget to close the brackets. Yes.
And so I think I paid number 3. So,
Who come? I'll go to him first because help someone.
it's just
Yeah. Zero even numbers. Okay, so let's. Okay, so remember, for us to do this, we have to say even equals even plus 1. So right now you just have even plus 1, but you have to assign it to the variable.
So even equals
Even
all the
equals
equals.
A or plus 1.
Oh, alright.
Yeah.
And then you have to do that. Man, you get it?
I don't know yet. Just
For else, now else means everything else.
Format is they will something even number and
We want to ensure this.
using the
Same thing for others. Else is not supposed to be in the intent.
why? I like it.
and the
what you're saying, sir?
if you get it,
Ladies, how y'all doing? Let's see your ladies.
Not
Y'all
yet.
doing okay?
remember,
Yeah, I know. You forgot to close your brackets. If you get an error like the red line, it's normally the line above as an error. No, that's just like, so if you get an error, sometimes it shows you like a little red highlighted, the line above. So, like there. So your line above says it's supposed to be O. No, actually, the error statement is supposed to be
Yeah, I put it on. It's working on also.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, so
Louis, when you get
Yeah.
the second one, the
for
first one.
instance, enter number. Okay, so
Or something. I just get
the one thing. So else means everything else. So one, we need our colon after our else. And
Julian.
Because there's no MN.
Julian.
Juju.
What is that?
Come check me out.
Numbers.
So the same thing.
You do this.
That's all. That's the main point that we want to pass on class. So our else is just like our the same line with our colon and then we pass it our colon.
So that means you have to start with C.
And now
See if we can do it.
we will put in the power colon.
Everybody going to see the
So
same
we are going to say there are some
It's like
of
garbage.
whatever our value of even is, even numbers, and there are whatever our value of odd is.
Semicolon is gonna
Are you going good?
at the end of what?
That's what it's only so good.
Does it work?
At the end of the zero.
Because what I got on the board,
Yeah, I didn't know.
you able to tell me how many even numbers there are? Okay, so move on to number 2.
Go after the zero.
Yeah, it's very good.
Okay, so we have to use colon instead of yes. the certificate. So that's what.
Bruh.
So and this is supposed to be the
No, I put for the end.
else so you have and this is supposed to be and then everything else, so you just correct the rest and the rest is fine. And then run it and tell me.
You have to print something with something odd numbers with something.
Oh my god.
Especially at the end.
Gas.
Yeah.
So,
You finish the number. Okay, nice.
numbers.
They were some very big
Oh,
things.
yeah,
I just-
They were 3 even
I just-
numbers and 2
Okay.
even out the past the numbers.
So, how am I making counting?
But you do have to you receive it there, odd and even.
Oh yeah, well that's fine.
That's just the I find you know.
And after some bracket three.
You do remember how set they put the comma and then you put it as a variable. Let's see, you see the that explanation. Very good.
That's our probability.
Yeah.
Explain.
Then we will set up with zero and then you end the string and you put a new.
What?
And then you write. And then you could,
So you want to here we're going to print out our variable for even. So then we want to put a comma, now we want to write another string. So now the other string we want to say there were our variable of even, and then we want to say and odd number. And yeah, man. Let me tell you what you mean. So you want to say, when you write this string, there were, and then this number is actually our variable even. So we're going to say comma, even, comma, and then we're going to write this string, even numbers, and we're going to say comma, and we're going to say our variable for odd, because that's the only way you can know what number to put there, for our variable for odd, comma, odd numbers in our string for full stop.
Yes, sir. So number 2, you can just say like a question, I think. Well,
Kind of. Oh yeah, two equal signs. Remember our operator, our comparison operators, that is two equal signs for using our. Same thing for all. And then,
if this keep on going,
yeah, yes.
Let's keep on.
Okay, so what's it? I want to show you where it is. Yes.
after you that,
What did you forget?
there were 2 odd.
You have it in your first mistake, and you will have it in that.
You have to end the
Yeah.
function because
You forgot to
Run. Yep.
you have to end the string because
exactly where that cursor is, that's where you forgot to put it.
You know, I own this now.
Yeah, but
So you got this
So,
one.
move that. Change that to a singular quotation.
and you listen out for all of
Save
the
it.
times. What you said, school now?
Yeah, numbers. I can say
Okay.
numbers. Yeah.
So you can put if your input equals something.
Yes.
It was busy, that's why.
Well, so you're going to create a variable. So let's say the variable is guess. And then your guess variable is going to be equal to your input. And then you're going to say if guess equals something. More or less.
Yeah. Right. Ready? Ready? Oh, yeah, listen. You good? Yeah.
So we have to make our
even
own
numbers
correct
and
answers?
dash odd numbers.
Yeah, you could make your own correct answer.
Alright. Finally, I get it. Now let me understand. What lesson? View A?
No, like there's just a group of previous.
Yeah.
Yo, yeah, I was trying to do it, but I just clicked
Just give me 3 lessons on your Lego.
POA on POA.
I see a day I can play around here.
So for the one, if they want to quit it, do I have to be a teacher, right?
Like if they want to quit.
Yeah, the negative one to quit.
Oh, so like, yeah, that's an integer. So if they enter -1, then your program tells them goodbye or ends the program.
Write the program.
You read the questions already, sir?
Okay, so I'm going to give you all 5 more minutes wherever you all stop. The rest is for homework, and then we're going to move on to some more content.
Alright.
And if we're done in time, we might be able to go back and try to continue.
So hold on.
What number are you on?
Number 2.
Write your program. Just before you use it, place the last.
Anybody has an iPhone charger?
With the iPhone. That? Oh, the iPhone.
What if we are doing them not to do?
How I don't have it there.
That's
You're working on an
USB-C.
iPhone.
Or
No,
That's
because then
the
an iPhone
iPhone.
on that phone. You're working in the
that's
iPhone.
the A.
I am on that.
Yeah.
You're working in the iPhone. That's an iPhone charger.
But it worked for my thing yesterday.
That's the work phone. Yeah, I'm plugging in. I've got a Type A.
But the type A I use it for. You probably put it working in that.
You working in Type A?
Yes, type A right.
I'm crazy, bro. Let me see your thing.
Okay.
What?
Isn't you working?
Wow, picture.
Man, it's simple.
Let me see if it's working there.
No, God, let me do it. Go meet, man.
Boy, they anytime for that, they're trying to pull.
You say you're using type A.
Press them to print.
But look it going.
Oh, that's the same.
That's A, that's the A, the normal Android charger.
That would be the normal Android charger.
That's nothing no more.
That just literally,
It's not looking like it's
show you, I
like
plug it in.
You looking like
It's in
you
the iPhone.
iPhone 10.
I don't know if it fits in the iPhone, but it fits in the Android.
It fits in the iPhone side.
So try it.
For mine, you have to force it in to fit in mine. That's what she said.
Oh boy.
You see, it fit. You see, you have to force it in. Oh, shut up. So how it fits in? You have to fit it in. You have to force it in the hole.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, you was guy, you coming by me.
I want to see the question number 2 just time. You have been sent on Discord.
No, you're not charging my phone.
You see, I tell you that's a Android charger.
But it fit though. It's your.
Hey, charging.
What?
How it charging both?
Wait.
It charges both.
Charge for a little bit.
Ah, send it back.
I send it no night.
On this, I read.
You're not using Discord only.
No one is laptop.
They should be your boss.
Let me see your questions.
Oh, really?
Well, you can charge for 2 seconds.
I just stopped. I think already passed the
Wait, not different.
How to talk.
Okay, yeah, charging.
But my Minecraft password is free. I just sent
Okay,
our number free.
eyes on the board.
What do you mean? But that's good stuff.
But that's what I do.
Okay, stop wherever you are and homework.
Homework?
Yeah, that's for homework.
Oh, yeah.
Day 3.
Okay.
So the objectives for the rest of these slides are students should be able to concatenate strings, add them together, index strings, slice strings, convert strings into other types, and format other types into strings. So as we have seen previously, we can assign strings into variables. We can print them out and convert them into integers or floats using the int and float functions. There are also many other things we can do with strings, such as get particular characters or slice characters from a string. Or we can combine them, combine several strings together. We can also convert other types of strings so that we can display more aesthetic messages. So we're going to look at string indexing. So a string is simply a sequence of characters. For example, the string of high 12 is made up of 5 characters. Why 5 characters?
The space.
The space, nice. So the letters H, I, a space, the digits 1 and 2. We can extract a particular character from a string once we know its position in the string. This is done using indexing. Okay, so let's say I create a variable called my name equals the string of John Doe. And then I wanted to print open square brackets 3, close square brackets, close parentheses. Now take note of our syntax. The open and close square brackets allows us to index a particular character. And if we wanted to, looking at this code that says print my name, open square brackets, close square brackets, with a number 3 passed inside, what character do you think is going to? N. Why N?
It starts counting at 0. Indexing starts at 0.
Indexing starts at 0. So the J is the 0th place, the O is the first place, the H is the second place, and the N is the third place. So when we pass the number 3 inside of this, inside of our index, we get the letter N as our output. So if I said my name, open square brackets, 5, what would be my output?
Your name 5.
F. O.
D.
No.
There,
D.
Capital D.
Yeah, the capital D.
Yes. So, yes, the capital D. We have a variable called my name assigned to the string of John Doe. We then print out my name, open square brackets, 3, close square brackets, and only a single character gets printed out, specifically the N. The square brackets is called the indexing operator. It is used to extract the character from a string. You might ask why the 3 is used to get the 4th character, and this is because the indexing numbering starts at 0. So the J is at the 0 index, the O is at the 1 index, and so on. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Everybody? How are my 2 females? With me? Okay, so if I wanted to print out my name 0, what's my output?
J.
1.
What? You say don't say that.
Yeah,
J.
0.
Yeah, 0. Yeah, the 0 means for J.
For J.
J.
Okay, so now 1.
O.
O. 2.
H.
4.
And
Space. 7.
7.
E.
E. Nice. Everybody
Yeah.
okay with that? Okay, so let's say I have the message, I created a variable called message equals high 12. Then I'm going to say x equals message, open square brackets, 0, close square brackets. Then I print out x. So what do we think x is equal to? H. Because we made x equal to the index of message at the 0th place, which is H,
Yeah.
the string of H. So then we're going to say y equals int message open square brackets 3 close square brackets and close parentheses. So what do you think y is equal to?
3.
Y is equal to 3?
1. No.
The number 1. So now the number 1 is it an integer or a string? It's a string and then we convert it into an integer. Right. So now z is equal to what? 2. Everybody see z was equal to 2, right? And then, so z is equal to a string of 2, then we convert it into an integer. Now y and z are both integers, so we're printing out y plus z. What do we print out? What's our output for y plus z?
1 plus 2, 3.
Right. Okay, so now let's say I took out this int and I
Because
we just combine the two strings together. So we just put 1 and 2 next to each other. Nice. Okay, so now if I said print the string and then I index the number, the 4th position, what will be printed out?
2.
The 5th letter. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh.
Yeah, all the answers are on the board.
Yeah, I know the answer is there. I tried not to watch them.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. So let's say I created the variable called message and I made x equal to 7. Then I said message and inside of my index I passed the variable x, which is equal to 7. So what's my output?
0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Wait, repeat what you just said.
I created a variable called message and I made it equal to congratulations. Then I said x equals 7. Then inside of my index I said print message and index the 7th character.
Oh,
You
you
got
got 7.
Well,
7
the character
is
the 7th
Oh, but
index.
not L. U. Wait, but not starting at 0.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's u.
Yeah, where you? Yeah, you.
Okay, so now I said print message x plus 4.
Oh, x plus 4.
Going
7
from
plus
going
4.
from 7 and then it goes to the 4 after.
Yeah,
going to get I.
4. I.
I.
7 plus 4 is I. Yeah.
7 plus 4 is not I, but
But you
That's
have
crazy, bro.
4 characters in the
okay, so from this example we can see that we don't have to put an exact number as the index. We can put a variable instead.
Yes.
Or any calculation or expression which gives an integer as the output. So if our expression gives us an answer of 2.3, what do you think would happen? Syntax error. How do we index 2.3 position? I don't know.
No.
Everybody okay?
So if you put 2.0.
It won't work because 2.0 is a
It's
float.
yeah. Once it have the decimal.
Okay, so let's look at negative indices.
What?
So Python allows you to use negative indices to get characters starting from the end of the string. So notice that using an index of -1 extracts the last character. So why don't negative indexing starts at 0?
Because that's not on everything.
It doesn't start at 0 because we already use 0 for a positive number. So if we use 0 for negative indexing, then the program wouldn't know if to start at the first letter or the last letter. So that's why negative indexing starts at -1 and goes on. So if we said, I created a variable called message1, and then I said print message1 index -1. What's my output? I. So message2 index -1.
The last one.
Oh. Everybody with me? So message3 index -1.
What?
The last
-1 is equals the last letter?
Yes.
That 0 equals the first one.
Okay, so let's say message3 -2. What's my output?
The last thing is the exclamation mark.
Yeah.
L.
No, the S.
Exclamation mark.
Message3.
Exclamation mark
Oh, yeah,
is the
S,
last
S.
thing.
Yeah, but I said -2.
S.
Oh, -2.
Yeah.
Oh,
S. Everybody see why it's S, right?
Yeah.
-1, negative.
Yeah, the exclamation mark.
Okay. One thing I want you to note that this syntax doesn't work for most programming languages, but this is true for Python.
Yeah,
Julian, you can confirm?
Yeah.
Right, cool. Okay, more examples. So let's say I want to tell you, I created a message, made it equal to the string of congratulations, then I said print message -2. What do we get? What's the output?
Minus 2 S.
-3.
Minus 3N.
-16. I'm only hearing the same voice, I want somebody else.
C.
I want a different voice, I want a female voice.
What?
C. Okay, so let's do -15. The other female in the class.
Damn,
-15.
come on, do them.
Beban? Oh, yeah, O is correct.
That easy.
Okay, so let's look at a work example.
When I go home, I feel like we start to code as soon as I return. But the thing is, when you woke up during the day, what time? When you drink, how much water you sit down there, you are getting yeah, because you're listening.
Yeah, how big the process is?
Why are you not talking about Python?
Oh,
Oh, Julian, not this kind of trouble.
I remember the last time.
But that's even
That's the first one you learn, and after
Oh, that's the first one you learn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
Oh my god.
I want you to take out your notebooks.
wait, man.
I want you to tell me the output of these two programs.
Wait, man. What good book like I like to read that.
If you need to come to the board, you could come to the board.
The output. But I can just watch that on TV.
Well, I want you to write it down on a paper.
Oh, you want me to write it down for you? No problem.
Okay, so it's something not like
No, no, I have my folder there, hot split. What Victoria? Oh, Victoria, hurry up, go, hurry up.
No,
Can't get
I
rid
have.
of the money. Hurry up, go, guys. I have to have time, chill out your head in school.
Dog.
Set up easy.
Food though. Yeah, what you say? Check.
You smart. I mean,
Food though.
in this kind of time, who studies? I would have studied if I
We
could.
also define example if you didn't know that.
Yeah, 10 rules.
I open my mail.
I have a good relationship
We
with
have in
the
a
teachers.
food one, and some people have in second.
I have a good relationship with the teachers, they will sign for us.
Just not smoking in class.
Oh, it's safe, mama, you didn't have to say that. This thing when I go nightmare.
What do you know? Oh, I think you want to open the property by yourself? You must have doing that.
Safe, don't say that. Zero. Boy, I seen a skit for the
Okay, so what's the output for this line?
M.
Capital M,
Yes.
No, yes, sir.
You have to put the exact.
what's your name again? Saint Vincent.
That's
Sinet. What was the output for this line?
That's a 3.
Yeah.
N.
Yeah, wait. No.
Not it?
No.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
We know that M was
Yeah, yes, N.
Yes.
Sorry. That's correct.
What? What?
In the back.
Oh.
Space.
Yeah, that's
0, 1, 2,
That is
3,
correct
4,
information.
5, 6, 7. Space. Correct. Your turn. Okay.
Space.
Wow.
Correct. Okay.
They already had 7. Just count 3.
Minus 10.
Minus 10, I read. You are supposed to write it. Man, I'm letting my eyes
That will
see.
get-
Eye, just trained up.
Eye.
Yeah, that's I said, that's I.
You sure?
But the thing is, which eye?
Huh?
So the
The
eye
first-
is closest to them.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can
Mi-
see me
minus 6. Yeah, I could zoom in a little bit again.
So you see a little bump.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let's train on the eye.
Yeah.
Okay, so minus 6.
That's better than sticking in front of laptop over there.
Huh? D. That's 3, 4, 5, minus 6.
That's you'll have to free.
Okay, D. Minus 13.
That's
Juliet minus 13.
That's so easy, bro. Just count from E.
I can see.
Or you said E?
Yeah, when I was 10.
So
just
3,
count 3.
6, 9, 12, 13. Nice. Okay.
But I can see the board now.
Okay, so let's move on. End of exercise. So index errors. Trying to use an index on a string which does not have enough characters to get that index will cause the program to give an error. I said somebody else talking. So, as I said, trying to use an index on a string which does not have enough characters to get that index will cause the program to give an error. So if we try to index 17 characters and we only have 16, we'll get an error. Using non-integers as indices will also give an error. So if we, yeah, like floats, exactly.
See when I got 2.0.
String slicing. So string slicing is very similar to string indexing, but instead of extracting a single character from a string, it extracts a smaller string from the original string.
So we can
Okay, so using two integers in the bracket separated by a colon allows us to extract a smaller string using a range of characters from the original string. Here we can see that the slice
You're getting all the characters from 3 to 7.
Oh.
we can see that the slice 3 to 7 extracted GRAT from the original string. Now I want us to realize that, let's go. So 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So we start at 3.
Yes.
4, 5, 6, 7. But we did not include the U.
Because
So
3
it
to-
starts at the first integer and ends 1 before the last one.
Yeah.
Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
So when we see here we see that the slice of the index 3 to 7 extracted the string GRAT from the original string. The 3 represents the index to start extracting at, and G is at index 3. 7 represents the index to stop extracting at. Notice that the character at index 7, the U, is not included. That is because extracting a slice does not include the stopping index. It stops at the one before that. Okay, so like if we leave out the second number, if we say message colon message 6 colon, and we leave out the second message. Exactly. It starts at the 6th character and continues until
To the end.
And if we leave out the first number, it starts from the beginning and stops at 1 before the ninth number.
I agree. Makes sense.
So
All the sense.
if we had message 0 to 9, what do we stop at? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Error.
and we print out congratulate.
Congratulations.
Everybody okay with that so far?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Good.
Oh, just
Okay, so let's say, so if a third integer is included in the brackets after a second colon,
Whoa.
then that integer is a step size. So step size.
I didn't know what that was.
So if the step size is 2, like on lines 2 and 4, then every other character is extracted.
Oh, so the first
So-
I'm telling you is every
Okay.
2 things.
Yeah, so we start off at the second letter, so 0, 1, 2, we start off at n.
And then
Now our
you
step size is 2.
1, 2.
So we go in, so we're at n, 1, we're not taking G, 2, we're taking R.
and then
1, we're not taking A, 2, we're taking T. 1, we're not taking U, we're taking L. But now, we're stopping 1 before the 14th. So if we're stopping before the 14th character. We're not including the 14th character. So we'd go up until O. Everybody okay with that? And if our step size was 3, so let's say I said 2, 14, 3. Now our step size would be,
you starting at
we're starting at N, we're not taking G, we're not taking R, we're taking A, and so on.
1, 2, L.
Then we taking L, then we taking
1,
T, then we
2,
taking
I.
Wait, I don't understand for the second.
You
For
starting
which
at
one?
L and I.
Okay, so
So I see you can come to
okay,
just
so
pass.
message. Let's look at the second line. You said message 1, so we're starting on the first letter.
Yeah.
I mean the first index. Now we left out our second digit.
So that means you don't have no N, the whole thing.
Yeah, we go the whole thing.
So it
And we're going by a step size of 3.
so 1.
So we're going 0, 1,
1,
we're starting from here. Going 1, 2, 3. We're taking R. 1, 2, 3, we're taking U. 1, 2, 3, we're taking T. 1, 2, 3, we're taking N. And then 1, 2, 3, there's nothing again. So now for our third line, we left out the first digit.
Yeah, so that means it's starting from the...
It's starting at 0.
Starting at 0 and ending at 15.
And we're going at step size of 2.
So you're
So-
starting at 0, so you're taking 0.
We're taking C. Then we're going 1, 2, we're taking N. 1, 2, taking R. 1, 2, up until 15.
You check it.
Everybody okay with that? Okay, string concatenation. Just adding them together. Longwood. Alright. Good luck.
Why, good luck.
String concatenation refers to joining several strings together. In Python, this is done using the addition symbol. So we've done this before. We're just adding a name to it so you know what it's called.
Oh my.
So let's say I created a variable called first, and I say equals input, enter your first name. I pass the prompt of enter your first name, and then I'm asking you to enter your first name. So let's say we enter John. Then I said last equals enter your last name, asking you to enter your last name. Let's say I say Do. And then I say print hello plus first plus last. What's my output?
John Doe.
Hello John Doe. No spaces, right?
Hello, John Doe.
So if I use my plus, there's no spaces, just add the strings together. Nice. So if I put, now if I want a space, I'll have to put hello space plus first plus space plus last. And I'll get hello John Doe per spaces. But then I could just put my commas because my commas puts the space for me.
Plus.
Yeah. So hello, comma, first comma, last.
Yeah,
And I get
because
John
then you
Doe.
have to add it. Makes sense.
So everybody okay with that?
So if you have put that in
I don't understand deleting, but I could.
If I put what?
Numbers.
Well, since I have input, it would just put what, like, so this would be to be hello, the number 1 and 2. No spaces. It will be hello 12.
Alright.
Because remember we use the input function and the input will save a string. If we put int input and then we said hello comma first plus last, then it would be 3.
So, what that semicolon thing doing there? What's the use of
That's
that?
for the space.
Oh, for you to put John and Doe for when you
Yeah.
I was telling you.
I just put that in my string because I wanted.
That already
For grammar, oi.
Yeah. Like just so that's just what I wanted to put in my string.
just to make it look nice.
Okay, so let's say I have S1 equals input your first salary, S2 equals enter your second salary. Then I said total equals S1 plus S2. Then I print total. What would be output?
So
If my first salary is 1,000, my
S3.
second salary is $2,000.
Put together.
So what you say the first one was?
1,000.
That's 2,000, 3,000.
3,000.
Wait,
Look at my code.
no. You said that would be like 1,000,000.
Yes.
200.
1 million and something because
1,000,000.
I have an error in my there's almost like an error in my code.
Right.
I really want to input integers, right? And then I wanted to say S1 plus S2 and then I get 3,000. Instead of just adding the strings together. Like here.
So you have to put the integer for the input.
Yeah,
You have to put the integer.
INT bracket
Nice.
SL S1 plus S2. Close bracket.
Okay. We could also use incrementing when we have strings. So we could say x equals hello. Then we could say x equals x plus space. Then we could say x equals x plus world. So remember x is always changing. So first x was equal to hello. Then we made x equal to hello plus space. Then we're making x equal to hello space plus world. Then we're making x equal to hello space world plus exclamation point. And then we're printing out x. What's my output?
Hello world.
Hello world exclamation mark. Everybody okay with that? Because so we made x equal to hello. Then we said x equals hello plus space. So now x is equal to hello plus the space. So now we say hello equals hello plus space plus world. Yeah.
They're gonna go to the
Yes. Yes. We wait for him to come back for us to do string formatting.
What gave us
Wait, that's somebody. You don't know. Oh, you don't know somebody that
into a string. So we could say
name colon space.
Then we could
add our name together. Our name is already a string.
Then we add
space age colon space.
and then we add.
So now we want to convert our age into a string.
So we say
str
and we convert
converting age to string, right?
Then we say plus
space height
space and then we add
the string of our height.
You converted height.
You converted height to a string.
And
And this is what we're printing out.
Everybody okay with that?
Everybody okay with that? Third method.
So now
instead of using percentage S and percentage D,
we use these
curly brackets
as our
placeholders.
So these
curly brackets are our placeholders.
And we use
dot format.
Open our
parentheses, and then we pass our variables to replace these curly brackets.
So
name replaces this, age replaces this, height replaces these curly brackets.
Now
these curly brackets could be used for strings, integers, or floats, whatever you want.
So if I said
dot format name, height,
age,
what will happen? Exactly.
Everybody
sees that. Everybody understands.
Yeah. Okay.
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 Okay. Cool.
Okay. So last method.
The F method.
So
before our
quotations,
we're going to use F.
This
This is similar to our formatting method.
But inside
of our curly brackets,
we pass
our variable. So we pass our variable of name inside of the curly brackets.
And this is going to be
replaced by our name.
Inside
these curly brackets,
we're going to
pass our age, and this is going to be replaced with our age. Inside these curly brackets, we pass our height. It's going to be replaced with our height.
And then we
close our quotations.
So
everybody tell me what method do you prefer? The last one?
The first method?
The first method?
The third one?
The first one?
The first one?
All of them come into the same thing. Could use whatever you like.
I like the first one.
I like the first one. So
they asked me to
enter John Doe.
I
put my age as 32. Put my height as 1.9876. And you realize all of my answers are more or less the same. Our format gave us 2 extra zeros.
But
that's alright.
Okay, so now let's say normally when a float is printed out,
many decimal places are displayed.
Sometimes we usually only want to print
a few decimal places.
This can be
specified when printing out floats using formatting.
So in
this instance, we want to display our height to 2 decimal places.
So let's
say I said height equals float, and I let my user enter their height.
They could
enter 1.9877777.
But
we only want 2 decimal places when we print out their height.
So using the
first method, I'm going to say open parentheses height colon. I'm going to say percentage dot 2f. Now
remember
F represents our float variable.
And our percentage
F is our placeholder. So this dot 2 is telling us how many decimal places. 2 decimal places.
And then we
continue with our syntax, percentage, open brackets, height, close brackets.
Using our
string function.
Using
that string function, we also have to use the round function.
So
we're rounding off height to 2 decimal places. So we're saying round, open brackets, height, comma 2. These 2 represent the 2 places, and we're closing off that comma. Then this is an integer. So we're going to convert this integer of our rounded off height value to a string.
And we're
going to close this off.
And then
we're going to print it out.
Everybody okay with that?
Everybody okay with that?
So third method. Our
dot format method.
So we're going to open our curly brackets.
Pass our colon.
Then we're going to say
dot 2, which is how many decimal places we want. We're going to put dot 3, dot 4, dot 5, and all of that will represent how many decimal places.
Then we pass our
Then we
F,
pass our F
and we close our
curly brackets.
And then we say
dot format
height.
height.
And our last method,
our F method.
We open our
quotations, we say height, and inside our curly brackets we pass height colon dot 2F close curly brackets.
Everybody okay with that?
Everybody okay with that?
So you could
choose whichever method you want. All of them come to roughly the same thing.
So if I pass
my height as
1.9876
of
of
my outputs are height 1.99.
Everybody okay?
Everybody okay?
So
End of formatting.
Let me see if I
have a
example.
work example. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so let's
move on to while loops. While loops.
We are going to get some water. Be back into.
Like what we do is to make it like walk continuously. Like while not to do it, you have to be careful. If you leave a while, what do you mean? Do it.
And if it is
still true,
it
runs the code again.
This keeps
repeating until the condition is false.
The syntax
of a while loop
is similar to an if
statement, except the word while is used instead of an if.
So let's
take a look at this example. Any of us that were able to start number 2 or finish number 2 would see this is a lot shorter code.
So
let's say if I say pass number equals 12, and I said guess equals int input, so I'm asking the user to guess. Then I'm going to say while the guess is not equal to the pass number, print incorrect, and I'm going to ask the user to guess again. And then we're only going to break out of that loop when the guess is equal to the pass number. And then when you break out of that loop, then we'll print correct. So somebody enter a number.
For the second while loop. What's the guess equals for?
Okay,
so our pass number is 12.
So we're trying to check
if our guess is equal to this pass number.
If it's
equal,
we're going to
break out of this loop and we're going to print correct. If it's not equal, we're going to tell the user that it's incorrect and to tell them to try again.
And this is going to
happen continuously until our guess is equal to pass number.
Yes, we can.
But right now my code
going to happen forever until you get the right number. Because that's what I named my variable, pass underscore num. Once it doesn't have a space, it doesn't start with a letter, a number.
So you could have just put the underscore and just give a space.
No spaces.
Oh.
It's going to be pass number without the underscore.
Yeah. Okay, so somebody give me a guess.
15.
What's my output? Okay, so try again. Incorrect. Try again. Okay, so 12. Correct. And we end our program. That's the end of our program. So everybody realize this loop will happen forever and ever until we get it correct. Okay. Now if on our first guess we say 12. That's my output. Correct. We would have checked this while loop, so we would have said while guess is not equal to pass number, and we realize that our guess is equal to a pass number. So immediately break out of the loop, and then we have just printed correct. Everybody okay with that? Okay. So let's use a count. Let's say count is equal to 0. Then I'm going to say while count is less than 3. I'm going to print hello. Then I'm going to add 1 to count each time. And then after that I'm going to print run 3 times. So what do you think my output will look like? Okay. So my count is 0. I'm going to say while count is less than 3. So 0 is less than 3, right? So then we would have printed out hello. Then we've gone to this line. Count is equal to count plus 1. So now count is 1, right? So I go back to the top of the loop. So 1 is less than 3, right? So we're going to print out hello again. Then we're going to add 1. So count is now 2, right? So 2 is less than 3. So then we'll print out hello again. Now count is equal to 3. Is 3 less than 3? 3 is less than 3? No. So now we break out of this loop and we print run 3 times. So my output looks like hello, run 3 times. You see how we were able to use the counter and use a while loop. Okay, so now let's take a look at this code. Let's take a look at this code. So let's say pass number equals 12. Count equals 1. And I'm asking you to make a guess. Then I said while guess does not equal pass number and my count is less than 3. I'm going to put incorrect. And I'm going to tell you to guess again. And then I'm going to add 1 to my count. After I check this after this while loop, I'm going to check if the guess is equal to pass number, I'm going to print correct, else I'm going to print out of choice. So somebody give me a guess. 13? So while is 13 equal to my pass number? No. Is my count less than 3? That's my first try. Count is equal to 1. So both of these statements are true, right? Yeah. So I print out incorrect. I'm going to ask you to guess again. 11. And I add 1 to my count. I go back to the top. My guess is not equal to my pass number, right? That's true. So this is true. Our count is what? 2. So this is true. So I print out incorrect. I ask you to guess again. And my count is I add 1 to my count. So make a guess. 12. So is my guess not equal to my pass number? Yes, it's equal. So this is false. So I'm going to break out of this loop because this is false. Now is my guess equal to a pass number? So I'm going to print out correct. Okay. So let's try again. Let's say make a guess. Let's say made a guess of 12. So we're going to
say while guess is not equal to past number. So this is already false.
So we break out of
this. Now we're going to check this if statement. Is our guess equal to 12?
Yes.
Yes.
So we're going to print
correct.
So now let's say we guess 12.
We guess 12. We guess 11. We guess 14. We get 15.
So right now
our count is 3, right?
So
our
past number,
our guess doesn't equal our past number. But our count is more than 3 now. It's 3.
So I'm going
to break out of this loop.
Is my guess
equal to my past number? No.
So else
you're going to print your out of choice in our program.
Everybody
okay with that?
See how
we were able to use our logical operators, our comparison operators, our counts, our while loop, our variables,
our input,
our inputs, our print statement, everything that we've learned so far.
Okay, so
let's take a look at this code. Program 1. Tell me what do you think my output will be? Yes. Okay, so what numbers am I going to print out?
1 to 99.
1 to 99? 0 to 99, right? Because we're going to say while count is less than 100, so it has to be less than 100.
So
count starts at 0.
So we print out 0.
Then we add 1 to our count. Then we loop again.
And
we loop that for 100 times. From 0 to less than 100, which is 99.
Program 2.
Our count is equal to.
What do you think
my output
will be? Take
a look at number 2.
Yeah, 5. 4. No, 4. No,
4.
No, 5.
So what's my output?
My output is
is
a range of numbers.
So what's my output? Why
are we giving me one number? It's a range. So
we're saying
count equals 10.
Or
we're saying while count is less than 50. So then we're adding 2. So we're saying count equals count plus 2. So count equals 12.
And then
we're putting out count. So we're putting out 12.
We're going through
the loop again.
Then we're
going to add 2 to our count. Count is now 14.
And we
print out 14. Then we go through the loop again. We add 2, so it's 16. So now my output will print out all the numbers from 12 to before 50, which is 48.
Everybody
okay with that?
Somebody
give a touch. You with us? Okay, so let's take a look at this program.
Let's say
count is equal to 0.
While
count is less than 3.
We're going to
ask the user to input a number.
If that number
is divisible by 2, we're going to print out it is even. Else we're going to print out it is odd. And we're going to add 1 to our count. So while
count is
less than 3, input a number.
10.
10. Is 10 divisible by 2?
So we
point out it is even. Then we add 1 to our count.
Realize
that our count is not part of our else. Our count is just within our while loop. So we're going to always count, add 1 to our count, no matter if it is even or odd. So now our count is 1, right?
So we're going to
go through our loop again. Enter a number.
7.
7 is 7 divisible by 2.
So we're going
to print out it is odd. We're going to add 1 to our count. Our count is what now? 2.
So then
enter a number.
12.
Divisible by 2.
So we print out
it is even.
Then we add
1 to our count. We go through the loop again. Realize our count is now not less than 3.
So we end
our program.
Good CL output.
Good CL output. So we entered 5, so it allowed us to enter 3 numbers and told us whether that number was even or odd.
Everybody okay?
Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the end.
So that's the end of
what
the content that I wanted to cover for today.
I will allow
you all
to
no, there's problem sets that will have.
So I'll
allow you all to
go back to number.
what did you
what
stop on number 2?
Go back to number 2.
Go back to number 2 and try to finish number 2 and number 3,
and then
we'll move on to day 3 problem set.
So we have 15
So
minutes.
we have 15 minutes until lunch.
I'm going to let
you all finish this up for the
next 15
minutes,
and then we'll come back
and try to start the problem set for day 3. Yes, you can start the day 3. Do you have access to the internet? Well, you have to take a picture of number 1.